Oh hey Andre, where have you been? Nowhere, just fucking hibernating in my room, non-stop playing domination, not having a life. But that's how it is when 2K first drops. I've accepted this. And along the way of the domination grind and building up my team, I have found some complete and utter Swiss cheese for you guys today. I'm not sure if I even wanted to tell you about it, but you would have found out about it anyway. Bottom line is, dynamic duos are actually the shit, and I love them so much because they're giving me incentive to use players that I never really used before, because the boosts right now, especially when you're first building your team, they're so viable. There's only 2 Sapphire players, and there are some players that go up to Sapphire when you have a dynamic duo. There I put my boy Kyle Lowry. I do love him and DeRozan, but fuck that, both of them can't shoot, don't want it. I haven't used the Steph and the Clay, but so far I've used the Dame and the CJ, and this coming up right now, the John Wall and the Boogie Cousins. No, I am not kidding with you when I say probably the Steph and Clay would compare to it, just because they're probably the best duo 2K would make in the game to start. But John Wall and Boogie, when they get together, Boogie goes up to a 86 Sapphire technically, and he turns into this God King that has an 82 mid-range and a 78 open 3-pointer, which is about as high as Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And on the other side of things, John Wall gets a boost to his mid-range to go up to about a 78, and his 3-pointer goes up to a 74 or 75, which makes it so much easier to hit them with him. And he already has the finishing of a god and the speed of a god and the playmaking, so it's so much more viable for me. Even as much as I like to use Dame and CJ, as much as I like to use Deron Williams, as I'm about to show you guys, it is so much better to use that dynamic duo to start on my team. And John Wall, I think, goes up to a 83 overall, so one shy of being Sapphire himself. Here goes the Deron Williams card. He's not that bad at all. He's pretty fun to use. His mid-range is there. He might have a pretty good open 3-pointer. His passing is there, and you know, playmaking actually means a little bit more this year. And his speed with ball is pretty decent. He's fun to use as an off-the-dribble mid-range kind of guy, and he makes shots more consistently than he did last year. But I'm curious to see what his Jazz card would look like. Next up is the old-school hidden gem Pistol Peja. No, his stats are exactly what you think they are. He is just knock fucking down. His form is pretty good. I think it might be the same form from last year. I haven't used him in too many games yet, but the contested 390, open 392, mid-range is there as well, and his finishing, I think his layup is a 78 and Cam gets it done, and his rebounding, defensive rebound, is I think a 60 something, so he rebounds just as well as I think Melo and Durant right now, so you can even put him at the 4, and his on-ball defense is in the 70s, so you can even still have him at the 3 and he won't get abused. Next is Eddie Jones, and this I think is the most all-around Sapphire I've picked up so far. At 87 3-pointer, at 83 layup, 81 steal, 80 on ball, 85 driving dunk, and an 82 mid-range. I did see he was on only 84. I did kind of get shaky at first, but when I saw his stats, I didn't regret stats at all. That is the best all-around shooting guard I can get till I finish domination. And last but not least, the Sapphire Grant Hill, probably the most wanted Sapphire collection card right now. If you have Magic's players, be sure to sell them if you don't want him, which why wouldn't you want him? These stats are basically, think of the Grant Hill hidden gem video I did last year, just slightly shrunken down with a new MyTEAM setup system. He does exactly the same thing. He's basically LeBron with some handles and a better jump shot, and I am loving it. So without further ado, let me get back to finishing domination.